I'm TC Jones, and I'm going to have some fun today because I'm going to talk to you about the matrix of modes. And so we're going to just kind of talk about the modes that came out of the Greek city-states like Ionia, Lydia, Phrygia, and so there's 7 of them. And they have an order to them, and it's an order of brightness, and the brightest of the 7 church modes is the Lydian, and the darkest is the Locrian. And like I say, there's 7 church modes. So what's going to happen is that I'm going to show you on the guitar how to use the church modes with the diagrams and the tablature. Also, I have it written in normal notation so you can see how everything looks, and you can use it if you don't read notes real well, but you can read tab or you can read the diagrams. You can do pretty well with this stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do is talk down the Sibelius file and talk it down for you just so you can see what's going on, and then we'll demonstrate some of the stuff. So it'll be a little bit of a review. And so let's go to let me share my screen, and we'll go to that. Okay, so now we're sharing the screen, and here's the Sibelius file right there. And so let's look at this. This is lesson 1.3, and there's the matrix of modes. You see the Lydian at letter A, that's the Lydian mode. That Lydian mode is the brightest sound of all the modes. What makes it really bright is this 4+ that you see. This is a 2 octave, and then it goes just 1 note past. And you'll notice that this note is the starting note down here. It's just 2 octaves lower. So the interesting thing about this is that the 4+ creates a very bright sound. And we're going to play all this for you later. Right now I want to look at letter A and look at this diagram here. So I'm going to actually do this and blow this diagram up for you so you can see it, okay? You can see that this diagram, so this is A, B, C sharp, D sharp, okay? That's this guy right here. See, that's this guy right here. And so you'll see this is the Lydian mode, and this is what you want to practice. This is what you're going to be working with. And so we'll go back down here and kind of get reconnoitered here. Now, if I play these notes, but instead of starting on A, I started on B, okay? I started on B. But I'm going to play all the same notes that are in the Lydian mode, but I'm going to start on B. That would be here, okay? So now if I open up this and show you what this looks like, okay, this is starting on the 6th fret, and this is a B note. That's this guy right here, okay? And all of these notes are the same exact notes that are in the Lydian, with the exception that they start in a different place. By starting in a different place, you actually get the Mixolydian mode, and the Mixolydian mode is all the same notes that are in the A Lydian. The B Mixolydian are all the same notes that are in the A Lydian. B is the 2nd scale step of the A Lydian, and therefore it's just starting in a different place. And that's really what makes modes have their sound, is where the resting points are. And the resting points are always the main sound of the mode. So later on, I'm going to play this whole thing for you, and I'm going to just have it play through here, and you'll see that this A root tone here, this is an A root, and this little ostinato, it repeats all the way through these modes that are going to change. Here we have at letter C, we have the Aeolian mode, which starts on a C sharp, the third step of an A Lydian. You see, C sharp? It's all the same notes, it just starts in a different place. But we're going to keep an A under it, okay? And then so forth. The Locrian, here at letter D, the same thing, but we're going to keep this A pedal. So this is the Locrian mode, and that would be the mode that starts on a D sharp, or the raised fourth of the A Lydian. So that's just starting here. But what happens is that if you have different rest places at the ends of cadences, that's what gives the modes their sound. Otherwise, all the notes are going to be the same. And the same is going to go for the Ionian. Now, the Ionian is the normal major scale that everybody knows, the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do scale. That's this. Okay, that's this. And so you'll notice that the fourth step of the scale here isn't raised. It's not raised. Now these are all the same notes that are in A Lydian. So if I was to start here on A, you can see the first step, the second step, the third step, the raised fourth step. Okay, that would be these guys here. Okay, so all of these modes are related. They're all related. Okay, and if you go to Music Interval Theory Academy, Music Interval Theory Academy, and you look at lesson 1, the matrix of modes is explained very easily why it's lighter and darker. Because what happens is that from the lightest note, you start flatting notes. You flat the 4 plus, and you get just a normal 4, and that takes you to the Ionian. You'll see, like I'll show you here. This is the order of brightness to darkness. Okay? So what happens is in this Lydian mode, I would take the 4 plus, that's this guy, and just make it a 4. Then I get the Ionian mode. Okay? The Mixolydian mode then would take the 7th step of the scale here, the Ionian. Let's go to the Ionian, and here's the 7th step of the scale, and flatten it and just make it a D natural for the E, but we're not in E, we're all in A Lydian, but for this starting point here, this would give me an Ionian, right? An Ionian, I'm sorry, Mixolydian. The Mixolydian is different than the Ionian in that the 7th is natural. See? That makes it Mixolydian. So rather than go through every one of these, I think I'm just going to let you know that these are all related in the order of lightness to darkness, that as you go down these, one more scale step is dropped by one chromatic until you get to the Locrian, and you've dropped them all, because I see it's 7 modes, and you've dropped them all at that point. The interesting thing is this Lydian is directly related to the Locrian, and I'll show you that later, okay? But the way, just tell you quickly, how it's related is that each one of these guys has a formula. So if I'm in the Lydian mode, I'm going to do this so I can see it. I want to have you guys see this. Okay, so I'm in the Lydian mode. From here to here is 2. That's 2 chromatics. right? And so 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1. So down here I have 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1. That is the formula. Okay, that's the formula for the Lydian. Okay, so let's just do this. HF means horizontal formula. So I'm just going to say that's what this is, okay? And so this formula is going to become very important, because if I apply this formula 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, I'm going up this way. 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 2. So that's how this goes. So from here to here is 2, from here to here is 2, from here to here is 2. So that's 3 2s. 1, 2, 3, and then a 1. Then a 2, then a 2, then a 1. Okay? So the thing is, if I take this formula and I start on an A up here and I apply it backwards, then I would get the Locrian scale. Okay, the Locrian scale, because I'd go 2, 2, 2, 1. This would go down here, so this would be okay. I applied it now. 2, 2, 2, 1. 2, 2, 1. See, it's just backwards. 2, 2, 2, 1. 2, 2, 1, or turn it around, reflect it, and it's 2, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1. This is the Locrian scale. So, of course, we're not going to do that right now, because I don't want to mess all my writing up. Okay, so let's save all this so you get it written nicely. And yeah, so this changed my whole format just because I did that, but I wanted you to see. It just opened up everything so you could see it easier. And so the C, we're over here on C, which, as you can see, it's the Aeolian. And the Aeolian is one of the dark scales, right? And so if I open this up so you can really see it, because we want to make sure that you can see what the guitar pattern looks like. See, that's what it looks like. And that's starting on, up here is the 9th fret, 9th, 11th, 12th, 9th, 11th, 12th, 9th, 11th, 8th, 9th, 11th. You know, that's how you read these. And that gives you a kind of a bird's eye view of what's going on. But these are all the same notes in the A Lydian scale. And that's what I want you to know, and I want you to see. All right? And that's going to be very, very important for you to check out. And that goes for all the scales, okay? And so what I'm going to do is show you how to use these diagrams to compose a tune, okay? So your assignment is going to be to play this diagram and just get to know it over and over, and we'll do it on the guitar. And you're going to write a plain song. And a plain song is a very simple song. It's like Home on the Range, or some simple melody that has just a couple different sections, like an AA and then a B and then an A section. You can add other sections or whatever, but I'm just going to show you. I want you to get familiar with these shapes, okay? So you're going to write a plain song using the A Lydian notes, okay? These are all the A Lydian notes. And you're going to write a Lydian plain song. And the root tone is going to be A, okay? And so then I want you to write a plain song on the A Lydian notes, but starting with the B, and that'll be this position here. Okay, these are all the same notes as A Lydian, but you'll actually be in the Mixolydian until you put this root tone underneath, which is not going to be you, it'll be a bass player. Or you can try to hold the note so you can hear the sound, the sounds of the Lydian. All right, so that's what we're going to do. And so now what I want to do is I want to go back to this guy. I don't know where he is. Not even sure what he did. I have to redo a couple things here. Okay, so now we're kind of back to where we were. That was that guy. All right, you can edit if you want, Jeff, but I don't mind if people see me because this is live. This is no hidden stuff here. Okay, so there's observations. The Lydian overwhelms all the modes if the root stays the same. Doesn't matter what church mode you're in. If you've got an A root, if the bass player's playing an A root, you're going to be an A Lydian as long as you're playing those notes, okay? If the leader of the band turns around and says, hey man, we're in Dorian. I said, yeah, but the bass player's playing this A, so that means I'm not in the Dorian mode because you're playing that A down there. You know, you want me to be in F sharp Dorian? Well, then you got to play an F sharp. Okay. Anyway, that's just a little guitar theory. The way this is laid out is fun. I put this ostinato in here to keep it sort of fresh, so that you could hear everything in relationship to an A root. All right, and we'll have a recording of that with the actual whole. I'm going to let everything play in the Sibelius file, so your PDF or this will match up. You'll be able to listen to all the notes being played, okay? And we'll just sync them up for you. Okay, so once I have this guy here, so this is the Phrygian mode. And I can go in here, and it's actually the Lydian, but it sounds Phrygian if I go to a G sharp. If I have a G sharp as my beginning note, my rest notes, and that sort of stuff. Okay, so I'm going to explain this. These diagrams, this is how you use them. You take little sections of these diagrams. Like, let's say I take these first patterns here. So I got a couple of patterns, and I can show you these patterns on the guitar. As a matter of fact, let me go to the guitar so you can see, and I'll tell you what I'm doing, and you can see very easily. Okay, so I'm going to go to the guitar, and let's try this and see what happens, because with electronics anything can happen. So we've got our little guitar here. This is a nice guitar. So okay, that sound is this guy. I'm sorry, this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. Okay, so let me open this up so I can go. So out of this diagram, I'm going to get a ton of chords, okay? Just a ton of chords. So I'm going to play this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. That's one chord. Okay, that's pretty. Now I'm going to play this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy, right? And that's going to be this. Okay, so that's this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. So if I put those together, it's very pretty. Now the only guy I didn't I didn't play were these two guys, all right? So let me show you what's happening over here. I'm going to shrink this quickly so you can see it. And I got to get over here, way over here, right? Look. Okay, this is the structure. I'm going to blow it up just a little bit so you can see it just a little bit. Yeah, you got to have a lot of things. I'm dealing with a mouse, I'm dealing with guitar, I'm dealing with diagrams, I'm dealing with notes. So this is a Lydian. And so now I played you this 3 notes here and this one, okay? And so that's this guy, right? And the top 3 are these guys here, boom, boom, boom. Top 4 guys, those guys, that's this guy. These 2 are this guy right here. Okay, so that sounds like this. What's... That gives me a nice little motif. I get a nice little motif out of that. So, and you can pick any way you want. So I can do it the other way. I can go. Okay, now I have all these chords. Look at all these chords. I could just play all 4. Watch. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have 2 chords there. You can hear that's very pretty stuff. I can take these 4, okay, just these 4. And so what's that going to sound like, right? That's going to sound like this. That's these 4, then these 4, and then these 4, right? So now I got... added this note now. Okay, so that's this. So now I have and of course any rhythm. Sorry. Okay, this can all be one chord. Watch. So out of this diagram, you get a lot of equity. Okay, a lot of equity. And so then you're going to sketch. You just sketch these guys. And you can do it with tab, or, you know, you can write the notes. And so this is, these 4 bars are all just on this guy. Then we go down here. The next 4 bars are a Locrian. So we reversed the horizontal formula, the HF, and created this pattern, okay? So this is the A Locrian, right? And that's what happens when we reverse stuff. So now I got you can hear it's dark sounding as compared to the okay. Same thing can apply to these. You got all of these little changes. Okay, so we're gonna record this guy so you can hear what these sound like. So you could create a big recording out of just these little diagrams, and the diagrams are important because you're getting used to learning the modes and how they're connected. So these are both A modes. They're in A. One's the A Lydian and has a horizontal formula of 2-2-2-1, 2-2-1. And then the Locrian has a horizontal formula that is basically 2-2-2-2-2-1, 2-2-2-1. Okay, it's just reflected a Lydian. All right, so the same thing happens over here. Then you get to where you can start to see. I'm looking at this. Oh, yeah, I recognize that. That is the A Lydian. Oh, yeah, I recognize that. That is the A Locrian. So all these notes are A Lydian. All these notes are A Locrian, and so forth. A Lydian, Locrian. That's what this piece is. It just goes back. That's only 2 modes, and look at all this composition that can come from that just by applying these little techniques. Okay, and it keeps going because we've got a lot of stuff. I'm on Locrian here, and that's as far as I got with this. But I want you to see. Okay, once again, I'm going to zoom on both of these guys here. Okay, so that you can see. Let me just do this whole thing here. Boom, bam. Okay, so now I want you to see what these are. Okay, so this is the A Lydian, starting on a B note though. I'm on a B note here. All right, the A Lydian becomes the Mixolydian. Unless you put an A underneath it, then it's still a Lydian. You're just starting on the second step of the scale. All right? That's what this is all about. And so now your assignment is going to be really cool because you're going to mess with the modes now. Okay? You're going to mess with the modes. And you're going to write a little piece on each mode. So I want you to take this diagram and stay on that diagram. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing here, boom, and just blow myself up here, boom. And we're going to take this mode. You noodle, just noodle. I want you to noodle, okay? And now what I want you to do is write a simple piece, okay? And a very simple, singable. So maybe this is it. This is going to be the A section of our piece. Okay? So now I need another piece. That's the A section. That's AA, right? That's the B section. You hear how the mode changes when I play that root? Okay, so you're going to learn this first. write a plain song. Okay? Then you go to the next A Lydian, but starting on a B note, and that's a different diagram. So I'm going to go right here. And of course, this is Mixolydian if you stay in this diagram, except for there's a low note underneath. So you're still thinking all the same notes, right? So now I go. Okay, so that could be, you know, sort of feel, and write a plain song. And that'll be a plain song in the Mixolydian, but it's also the A Lydian. I want you to keep that in mind because the bass note is what's going to tell you. But it'll relate that for you. You'll be relating that the A Lydian, if I move it up and start on the second note and I play all those same notes that are in that A Lydian scale, I really got B Mixolydian. Okay, so you want to have a method to learning the interrelationship, okay? After you've written a plain song, then I want you to go back and to the A Lydian in the first diagram, letter A, right? And from letter A, what I want you to do is change it from A Lydian to A Locrian. So that scale is going to go from, right? Right? And then switch it into A Lydian. Then it's darker. Lighter. Darker. Okay? And you do that on all those 7 steps. And you're going to hear the nature of the matrix of modes. And it gets you very familiar with what's going on. And you'll also start to recognize the triads that come out of those modes, which are, it's a separate lesson. We'll do that at a different time. But I just want to get you started with this. And I wanted to demonstrate how guitar players can compose legitimate, like concert orchestrations and things from just those diagrams and looking at the notes that are in there. As long as the notes fit, now all the way up the neck, okay, every one of those diagrams, that's all Lydian if you want. And every one of those diagrams, if the root tone is A, all of those diagrams are Lydian diagrams. You're going to get the Lydian mode. So you can pull, think of how many, if you want to call them chords, you got tons and tons of chords. You know, it's ridiculous. I mean, all the way up here, you got, yeah. Sorry. Okay, all those chords in every diagram. Now, what is A Lydian? It's a major scale. So all of those are some kind of an A major chord. That's why I don't think too much about chords. I mean, I do think in progressions sometimes, but just generally, you can, if you know what the melody is and you know it's a major sound, you'll be able to harmonize it any way you want, because you can pick and choose. If you see those chord patterns and scales, you can stay within the mode no matter where you are on the guitar. Okay, so if I'm on B, right, I know that I have. So now if I put it over an A, I'm sorry. That's all over an A though, right? So I'm not in B seventh. So many. And you can break it up and do whatever you want with the notes. This is called gathering. This isn't composition yet. First we gather all the possible ideas, and then we write them down so we don't forget them, right? So you gather all the possible ideas. And then you start thinking, okay, so if I have this, that's the second diagram. That's on the Mixolydian, starting on a B of the A Lydian, right? So I can pick any notes I want. This is a common chord. Most guys are going to look at this as like a dominant ninth chord, right? Because it goes to E. Okay. But here's how I would look at it. I'd look at it as a bunch of different pairs. Like, and this is a tenth. It means it's 10 chromatics between those two notes. And tens like to resolve. They resolve to eights or to sevens. I mean nines or eights rather. And this is a 9. And this can expand to an 11. Sorry, not looking at my guitar. So here I am. This is same notes, just a different position. And breaking them up. Okay, so that's, excuse my sloppy guitar playing, but I don't want to have to wait until I'm a perfect player before I share this information, because it's really great. This is all compositional information for guitar players. You will be able to see the neck differently because you'll see how the intervals work and how the diagrams. We're going to start off with the modes, the church modes. Write simple plain songs. 7 plain songs. You have to write 7 plain songs. Here's the structure. A, B, A. 4 bars for each section. So 4 bars for A, 4 bars for A, 4 bars for B, and another 4 bars. And give it a form. And try to come back to the root that of the scale that you're in, your root in the 5th, so that it's not going to sound Lydian until you play that root, you know. So if I'm in A Lydian, I could end it. It's because A Lydian and E Ionian are all the same notes. Okay? That's why where you end dictates the mode. You don't have to learn every single mode in every place because they're overlapping. You got to understand the matrix of modes, and if you do, then the guitar becomes more like looking at the piano, like, oh, that's my structures here. I can see them, right? So you want to be able to see them. You're not going to have to categorize chords. You know, you'll be able to see. Like a lot of times in chords, I see, like they'll go, okay, so that's a change, and that's called E minor 7 flat 5, except for it's got an A on top, so with a fourth in it. So, all right, that's hard. That's hard to remember that and recognize it right away, because here's an E minor 7 flat 5, and here's with the 4 in it. So, and so I have this interval. Okay, and that interval resolves to this. That's why it's an E minor 7 flat 5. So, all right. Anyway. That is 1.3. We got a long way to go on this, because I want you to start writing bigger compositions too, not just plain songs. But this is this is going to take a little bit of study, but it's going to pay off so much. If you can make your living as a composer of not the same stuff that everybody else does, you know, everybody has libraries. You go, and that's underneath the bad guys chasing somebody. But you really can write some music. You're going to have fun with music. It's going to be a great career, and you have a lot of opportunities. You know, if you're video games or film and television, and you know all the new stuff that's coming out. All right, so I'm TC Jones, and that is this. Now, we're going to follow this little lesson with the Sibelius file that I'm going to play in real time, and so you can hear all of the things I'm talking about on this. You know, I can't record the Sibelius in this software and the guitars and the voice all at the same time, so I got to do it separately. But and then if you actually want the PDF of the Sibelius file, I'm pretty sure we'll have it on the Academy website. So musicintervaltheory.academy. Okay, musicintervaltheory.academy. All right, so I'll see you then. Take care.